So I'm looking to make this MN as capable as this WPL I just built. And this thing can wheel now. It's pretty freaking sweet. So let's head back to the shop and I'll show you how I'm gonna make this thing even more capable than it already is. Welcome back to O Brothers RC. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at this MN-82. So there's 1,000 videos out on this truck and has a really nice looking body, but of course the functionality is not fantastic. Why then would I buy one? I just did a series of videos on this WPL here, and it started out as the same type of vehicle, you know, just a really beginner entry-level RC truck, you know, trail truck at the best. And now this thing is a fantastic crawler. It's a really good crawler, easily mid-level crawler, got a ton of flex, portal axles. The shocks have been modified. Everything works really good on this truck. So after we do this quick review, I'm gonna try to do the same mods to this truck and make it just as cool looking and just as capable. The only trouble with this one is there's no forelink in the back. It has leaf springs. So I'm hoping I can get these leaf springs to function properly and give me some good flex and articulation. But if I can't, I'm gonna go ahead and try to put a forelink in here. And I've got quite a few other upgrades in mind for this truck. But right now what I wanna do is get these scale bits on it, take it outside and give it a run on my course and get a good baseline for its capability out of the box. All right, so the only modification I'm gonna do to this truck before I take it out is I'm just gonna go ahead and color these lights, because it's easier to color them while they're on this tree than after I put them on the truck. All right, I got the scale pieces on it. Looks pretty freaking cool. Lots of detail on this little truck. I didn't put the chrome pieces on because I actually want to paint these black. While I was putting together, I noticed that, you know, right here in the middle of the truck, it's got like a dip. Pretty sure you can see it there. And I just want to show you how to fix that real quick. Underneath the truck, you got two screws, one here and one here, and they hold the back of the cab down. If you just release the tension on this screw right here, and on the other side as well, just unscrew them about halfway. And that actually straightens out the bed. And maybe I'll put a little spacer in there to keep this tight to the chassis. But you can see it straightened it out. So it's looking pretty good. Let's get it outside and see how it can perform. All right, let's have a look at how the suspension works and you know, maybe just how the slow crawl works. The articulation and the modulation. As you can see, that tire is not tucking up at all. And it's not allowing this tire to come down at all. Pretty clumsy. Man, it's pretty loud too. There's a real loud whine to it. The controllability is great, you know, the modulation of the ESC is not bad. Does have clearance issues, of course. Nothing some wheel speed can't take care of, but I'd much rather have the clearance and the suspension working correctly. Then we'll be able to get this thing really capable, because it's actually not doing that bad right now. It's functioning, you know, like a decent little trail truck with some stiff suspension. I think I can fix the suspension though. You know, get it to fully flex, because it's just way too stiff right now. That last obstacle was probably about the limit of this thing's capability, but we'll try this difficult obstacle here just to make sure. No flex. Almost. Not gonna happen. Ah, I give it props for getting that far. So even with the stiff suspension and the bad tires, this thing is still kind of capable. It's real clumsy, but it gets you there. I want to check the weight bias of this thing and see how much weight is up front. If it can climb this rock, it's in really good shape as far as the weight bias. Oh, almost. All right, let's take this thing back to the garage and see what we can do to make it more capable. So this thing did pretty good, probably better than I thought it was going to do with these really stiff springs in the back. And I think it's worthy of future upgrades. Right now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put some tires and wheels on it. But these MN and WPL models have these 5mm hex. So finding really good wheels and tires that fit this truck is pretty hard. You can take the original wheel and put a 1.3 inch tire on it. It does work. The inner ring is bigger than the outer ring, but it still works fine. So you could just buy a set of tires for 15 to 20 bucks, and that would definitely improve the capability of the truck. But one of the cheapest and best ways to modify this truck to get more capability out of it is to buy these little 7mm hex adapters. These just slip right onto the 5mm hex out drive. Then you'll have a lot of options as far as tires and wheels, because you can use 1.0 wheels or 1.3 wheels like these. I recommend 1.3 wheels with a 70mm tire. You can buy this Endura wheel and tire combination here for about 35 to 40 bucks after tax, and you get these little hex adapters for $9.99. So for less than 50 bucks, this thing's gonna look great and it's gonna perform way better because the stance is gonna be wider and you're gonna get more clearance underneath. Also, there's absolutely no comparison in the tire compound. These original tires are super stiff and these new ones are super soft with a really great tread pattern. This wheel I have on here is aluminum, but I'm gonna go ahead and use brass 1.3s. And what I'm thinking is that the weight from these brass wheels will definitely help with the articulation of the suspension. So I'm gonna get these tires mounted on these brass wheels, and then I'm gonna take it outside and see where and how bad it's rubbing. Let's see if the suspension articulates better with these heavy wheels. You can see there it's already stuffed and definitely working better in the front. Let's check the back. Way better. So the suspension is working way better. It still doesn't have a ton of flex or travel, but it's definitely articulating better and keeping the tires on the ground. Okay, I'm just going to hit a couple obstacles that it couldn't get over with the stock wheels and tires, and we'll see if we can make it up with these brass wheels and these really nice tires. Come on, little buddy. There it goes. Nice. Let's try this super steep rock again. Oh, wow. Right up it. This thing is functioning really well, but I'm definitely getting some rubbing there. And I'm gonna have to fix that because it's affecting the turn radius. And the suspension's working pretty good, but I definitely can improve it. So let's head back to the shop and I'll tell you the upgrades I'll be doing to this truck in my next video. The links to both trucks and both sets of wheels and tires will be in the description below. These wheels and tires definitely improved the capability of this truck. And the funny thing is, because the suspension's so stiff, you know, I'm not getting a ton of rubbing. If I got better flex, I would definitely be getting more rubbing. But other than that rubbing, it functions pretty well. But as you saw in the video, it doesn't function nearly as well as this modified WPL. So in the next video, I'm going to go ahead and fix the shock problem. But that's not going to be easy because the WPL has a 4-link in the back and this does not. And I have a feeling these leaf springs are going to be hard to get to articulate really well. But you never know until you try, and if I can't, I might just go ahead and throw some new axles on here and a 4-link. Because these WPL portals I put on the Hilux are working out really well on that one. So I might see if I can get them to fit on this Land Cruiser. They would also raise the height and make rubbing less of an issue. I've got quite a few other upgrades in mind for this truck, so make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons and smash that bell to get notified of my future videos. Thanks for checking out the video, and of course, when you think RC, think O Brothers RC. This controller is pretty whack. It feels really awkward in my hand. You know, with that thing tilted back like that, it's probably just not a good idea. And this thumb steer thing is way too close to the controller itself, so it's really hard to actually get a hold of. And because the controller is so weird, it's actually more comfortable just to use my thumb on the wheel. And what is this thing? What is that? Like, is that... I don't understand. I know what it is. Ah, yep.